Good evening. You are now listening to the worldwide transmission of the GBC with the Honorable WMII.
Greetings, and welcome to our broadcast tonight. This is the Honorable WMII as stated, and I am excited to come before you tonight with the stories that you may have heard of, as well as the stories that you may have missed. Just really excited to come before you tonight, giving you these stories. But before we get started, I want to give a shout out to our folks at Preach the Word Worldwide Network. They've been doing a tremendous job going around the world, giving their just support to us, all us presenters on the network, reaching millions of homes and giving the good news to the masses. Also, our folks here at Debo Studios, we want to thank them for the great work they've been doing with us as well. We're just excited about this great time that we're in here. Even during the Corona season, we're extremely excited about this great time that we're in here. Because as you know, God always works when things seem like this what's going on in the world today. It also causes us to put our trust and faith with Him as well. A lot of stories going on, a lot of things happening in the world. Throughout this time, there have been some mandates put out where power companies have been being lenient on folks with the utility bills across the country, in our country here as well as around the world. Just want to read our first article here. It says more homes are going dark as moratoriums on utility shutoffs ends. Now, I've been hearing stories of some places have been getting mail from their water companies, their utility companies, such as their electric bills, and other gas bills, saying that there's a certain time frame where they're going to start billing some of the American citizens again, which, given the fact that we're still in Corona, that should not be happening. There should still be these things set in place, and I believe the president has signed some more protections for folks with the electrical companies, but there are some people are nervous out here. Just to be flat out honest, people are nervous about the future. Some people have been laid off from their jobs. Some people don't know what's going on happen the next day. Some people are wondering about where their next meals are coming from. So we have to all pull together in this country to make sure that every single American is accounted and well taken care of. But just want to read this article here. Some of these, utility companies are getting a little bit antsy here. Congress has not made a decision on the stimulus as of yet. Like I told them last episode, they need to get together and do their jobs. And it says utility companies say they can't afford indefinite halts to shutoffs without raising prices for all customers. So they're kind of complaining, folks. Congress needs to work on this stuff and protect these companies as well as the people in the country. It says Latoya Dandridge was laid off from her school cafeteria job in March during the coronavirus shutdown. 6 months later, she is now anxiously awaiting for the moment when her electricity will be cut off. And that is one of the most terriblest situations that you can go through. Corona's going around. You got to have the utilities so you can properly maintain. You got to have your water because you can probably wash and have things clean because, you can cause yourself to have coronavirus. One of the symptoms of coronavirus is not washing your hands properly. So, I'm glad that the president and Congress have enacted these measures to protect the American people, but it needs to still go on. These companies need to continue to provide that relief service because I'm sure they're getting some income out of this. Ms. Dandridge lives in North Carolina. She said a moratorium on utility disconnections. She got a letter on September the 1st. Similar reprieves imposed during the pandemic are ending in more states, putting more people at risk of losing access to water, electricity, and gas, as I was stating earlier, as they struggle to find work and are quarantined at home. Some people can't find work out there. Some people are finding work, but there are some people who are not finding work. So Ms. Dandridge is 36 years old, said her unemployment insurance payments, which she applied for in June, have yet to arrive. So she hasn't even received her unemployment payments that she applied for months ago. Her electric bill, unpaid for months, is now $600. Her sister is helping her make her car payments, but there is no more money left to borrow. She's totally spent. It may be a week. It may be the end of the month. Ms. Dandridge who's 4 children. She has 4 children as well. Take classes on school issued laptops in her apartment in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I don't know when they're going to turn it off. So hopefully she's in communication with the electric companies so that this does not happen. This is very important. She has 4 children in an apartment with the school issued laptops. I heard in some states there were buses going around with Wi-Fi where students could pull up to and do their work if possible. But prayerfully, Miss Dandridge will receive some type of help and not have those utilities shut off. That's something that should not be happening during this time for no American. Since the pandemic started, 36 states have issued moratoriums on utility shutoffs for people who couldn't pay their bills. In other states, utility companies voluntarily stopped disconnecting customers who fell behind. And I've heard some people out there who are getting assistance with their rent payment from the CARES Act. Some people are just getting those type of benefits as well. So I urge Ms. Dandridge, as well as you all who may be going through these type of things, to look up these government programs that are out there, because they do have programs and money still out there to take care of these type of situations. Between now and mid-October, an estimated 24 million households are set to lose protections as moratoriums end in 9 states. And you can Google and look up those 9 states. They have already expired in 14 states, leaving 13 in place, according to analysis of state moratoriums by Corbin Switch, an energy efficient startup. Moratoriums are currently set to expire in Texas at the end of September, in Virginia at the end of October 5th, and in Washington on October the 15th. Utility companies say that they cannot afford to halt shutoffs indefinitely without raising prices for all of their customers. That's one concern I may have as well, that when this is all over, all these moratoriums, people are going to be seeing higher light bills, higher water bills, higher gas bills from the shutoffs and moratoriums that were set in place previously. Let's just hope that our government doesn't raise the prices, which I'm sad to say I think they may, but let's just hope they don't raise these prices on the American people. Each utility company in the country is facing the same situation, says Chris Eck, a spokesman for First Energy, which serves 6.1 million customers from Maryland to Ohio. It's rather unprecedented. We have to balance the needs of customers, which makes the most sense to keep the lights on. Yeah, keep the lights on, guys. If any of you executives or officials get wind of this broadcast, or if anybody knows any of these executive officials, send them this broadcast. The Honorable WM2 is telling you officials to keep these lights on for the American people. And again, Congress, do your job. Duke Energy, which has 7.7 million customers from Florida to Ohio, plans to resume disconnecting notices between September and December in different states. So look up your state. See what's going on in your states. And call these companies. Duke Energy did say that they will find financial assistance and waive fees and offer new payment plans, among other changes. I did hear that they will be offering payment plans. They don't expect you to pay a high bill at one time, but they will offer some type of assistance the best that they can. It's nobody's interest to have a large number of customers in default, she said. So that's good news. Giving a shout out to California, Illinois, and Massachusetts, all recently passed measures intended to protect utility customers, such as extending moratoriums, debt forgiveness, and waiving disconnecting and other fees. Now, yeah, this moratorium needs to get extended, and I urge you all who are hearing at the sound of my voice to call your companies. And this is Miss Dandridge here in her apartment with her 4 children. My heart goes out to her. If any of you can contact her and support her as well, so that she doesn't have these lights turned off, or could give her advice on places to check, please do so. And she has some young children as well. So Miss Dandridge, my heart goes out to her, and it's really touching. There's one more story in this article here by a Mr. Derek Forrong. He's 46 and he lives in Elm City, North Carolina. North Carolina, I mean, what's going on? She's from Fayetteville. He's from Elm City, North Carolina. Said his electricity was shut off earlier this month after he was unable to pay $150. Really? $150 and you shut his utilities off? North Carolina, get your act together. His carpentry business, which he runs out of a shop at his home, has suffered during the pandemic. He has a business as well. For several days, Mr. Furlong wasn't able to draw water from his well and use rainwater to flush his toilet. This is disgusting. This should not be happening in America. He's using rainwater to flush his toilet. Let that sink in, folks. North Carolina shut his water off, and he's using rainwater to shut his toilet, flush his toilet. He borrowed $250 from a friend to get power turned back on. Now he owes his friend money, and his next bill is due mid-October. I'm still in the hole, Mr. Furlong was stating. And that's unfortunate and sad for all Americans. So those two folks, if you want to send them some type of relief or guide them into a direction that they can take to help them during this time, please do so. Reading on, in addition to that, some folks are having it tough, and some folks during this time are changing their whole circumstances around. In the life and style section here, of the Wall Street Journal, Mrs. Catherine Deal says, article here says, unhappy with your old life? Pandemic frees formerly office-bound workers to experiment with new ones. This is great here. And it says, back in July, Chelsea Alexander Paul and her husband, Evan, sat down in their San Francisco apartment and made a spreadsheet of places where they could live and work with the same amount of money or less. And that's the thing. A lot of places, a lot of companies are changing their whole circumstances. They're saying, hey, look, this pandemic has brought us a newfound change in life. Even with this pandemic going around, we're still living. We're still alive. So people are changing their whole situations because of the pandemic. And they're saying, hey, look, let's say, for example, if you're making a certain amount of money a month, try to find something at, or if you can have more, that's great, but at or at least lesser and still survive. So if a pandemic happens or if a tragedy happens, you can still live and take care of your expenses, or change it all up. Try to go for more, of course, but try to live on at or less just in case something happens. And this is what these folks have done here. The Pauls have lived in the city for 4 years, and once lockdowns began, they spent months working from their one-bedroom home in the Mission District. As of now, their offices won't open until August 2021, freeing them up to focus on a place with better workspace and more outdoor activities. She said that it felt like we had in the city wasn't really there no more. Yeah, people are not going to their restaurants no more. They're not having the nightlife that they were accustomed to or going, because things have been locked down. And is it going to be there for a little while, said Ms. Paul. She's 32 years old and the senior marketing lead at Cheryl Vandenberg and Dave Goldberg Family Foundation. The Pauls are among many workers experimenting with new locations and lifestyles. Such moves, even temporary ones, require attention to finances, logistics, and career. And that's the thing about this last story I read also from Mrs. Dandridge and Mr. Furlong. If it's not working, and this is to you all as well, if it's not working, change the situation. If it's not, hey, if the income that you're receiving is not profitable, go to something that is profitable. Or learn to live at a certain level and a length that's not going to put you in such a bind. So I give a shout out to this couple here changing their whole situation. And they offer some great advice here. If you are working a full-time job instead of trying to land freelance projects, that's a good thing as well. They do a lot of freelance things as well. So there's a lot of good things that you can do. It also says that most people also need to claim a home base, such as the home of a parent or a family member, for bank accounts and mail. So there's ways you can kind of live throughout this pandemic, and this couple is obviously doing so. And she also tries to maintain Apple savings to deal with unexpected costs, such as her health insurance and things of that nature, because that could be a big expense. So, great deal. I really applaud the efforts that she is trying, her and her spouse is trying to do to maintain during this pandemic time, and you all as well. It's trying to get creative here. You know, things have been changing. Are you changing? Is my question. It's time to change for what makes your situation better. If you have to cut off something that's not being profitable for you, do something that's profitable for you. Because these jobs, some of these jobs are laying off so hard. I've heard some stories of some jobs laying off and the person was already in the hole and they're not able to survive throughout the layoff. If you have to move to another place, move to another place. The Bible says that the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. So wherever move you make and keep in faith, God will protect that for you guys. There has been an extreme amount of changes in technology. With all what's going on, technology is still advancing, folks. We have so much technological advances, even during this time of Corona, till it is very good. And some people think the technology advances are good, and some are a little bit antsy and nervous about it and thinking that this may be bad. But this story here says, shoot on sight, Boston Dynamics robot dog spotted out on city streets triggers fear and defensiveness. So there's a robotic dog here running around the streets. And some people are nervous that Big Brother is starting to kick up again. And it is reading on in our article here. It says, it's from RT here. It says, a video of a Boston Dynamics spot robot dog apparently wandered a city street on its own has struck terror in the hearts of social media users, though some defended the bot and some were startled. Addressing the quadruped hello friend, and you can look up this article and see more pictures and videos on it here. And it says the bot dog turned toward the camera person and appears to snap a photo before walking away. Now, why is this dog taking pictures? Are they doing some type of facial recognition thing to save people's identity? What's going on? Why is this dog running around taking pictures? Or is it like trying to replace the police so there's no police brutality going on? Maybe that's what is going on. And if you want to buy one of these four-legged Mongrel dogs, it's $74,500. If you want to have it, I don't know why you want to use it for. I don't know if it can defend you against the neighbor or take a picture or what. But I'm used to the old school of the dogs. If you jump the fence, they're biting your leg. I'm just used to that type of dog. And there at Boston Dynamics is actually selling this dog. So they're trying to replace Fido, folks. This is very, very interesting. Like I said, this is a real sign of the times how things are changing in this world. And I just want to read a few comments here from people who are commenting about this robotic dog. And it says here, it's kind of comical. One lady said, I love you so much. Girl is the girl that gets impaled by Salvador dogs hitting a harpoon gun. I guess some people are trying to. And it says, a metalhead from Black Mirror, yeah, we're screwed. In that metalhead episode, it was an armed and extremely persistent robot dogs hunt and kills humans in a post-apocalyptic landscape. So that's a movie. They're trying to say this is a life imitating art. So we don't know what's going on, folks. Let's just keep ourselves in prayer. Some of these technological advances can be good and some can be not be so good. Somebody says, like I am not worried about quadrupedal robots when bipedal humans are more than willing to kill me right now. So technology is something else, folks, and it's wild. So we're going to continue right back with you on the GBC. Thank you for rejoining us here on the GBC. This is your host, the Honorable WM2, and I just want to let you know, if you want to contact us, you can contact us at the Honorable WM the number 2 at gmail.com. That is the Honorable WM the number 2 at gmail.com. Also, if you want to support us on our Cash App, it's all capital letters, $ THWMII. All capital letters, $ THWMII. Now, I want to get through a laundry list of more stories before we get out of here tonight. Just want to talk about there is a deadly water amoeba supply in the water supply here and in Texas. And CNN is reporting this. Residents of 8 cities have been alerted that a brain-eating amoeba was found in the Southeast Texas water supply. So let me tell you something. Please get a filter for your water system if you don't have it. If you can't get clean water sent to your home, get a filter, get a water filter that will stop a lot of these deadly, unclean diseases. Because, we see the water coming through that faucet sometimes, but I urge you all to please get a filter or some type of clean water. Some water companies deliver water to you. And please get this type of thing because we don't know what's ahead. As I told you several months ago, this is the beginning of sorrows. And just want to let you know that is something that is going on also out here in Texas. And I'm sure that if it was in Texas, it's coming farther. From blacknews.com, it says monogamy TV producers speak about love, marriage, and relationships and a reimagined love retreat held on October the 2nd through the 4th. So there's a love retreat. I used to hear about a lot of love retreats going on. And this couple here is having a online marriage retreat. So if you're interested in that, Mrs. Karen Ward Ross and Craig Ross Jr. Are there to talk about it. And you can check that out on blacknews.com. And they just want to let couples know during this. It said, we believe relationships are mirrors that show us hidden aspects of ourselves. In marriage and our work, we are intentional about intimacy being the pathway to harnessing our deepest truth. So with that being said, each couple during the quarantine, you should be growing more closer together. There should not be, this pandemic will bring you together because people are actually leaving this earth. There was a funeral on yesterday, actually, that an older lady, she was in her 65, not that old, but she was 65, and she's no longer here no more. And the family is really, coming together now. But let's not let death bring us together. This pandemic is teaching you that tomorrow is not promised. Live life, love one another, take trips, if you can, safely that is, and show each other the love that they're due. The Bible speaks of due benevolence. So let's show each other that we love them. I want to read on a little bit more, our last 2 articles here over the night, if I can get through them here. It says, Lizzo. Have you been hearing a lot about Lizzo in the past? You're not hearing about it too much now since this pandemic has hit. It says, Lizzo claims body positivity movement is being taken over by white girls who aren't fat enough. Really? Now, I think she does this stuff for attention, really, folks. And if she sees my show or somebody sends it to her and she comments, Lizzo, really? I mean, really? I know she said something to Boyce Watkins recently, and, it's just ridiculous. Smaller frame girls, curvier girls, a lot of white girls. It says, in an interview with Vogue magazine, the singer said that the fat acceptance crusade has become too mainstream and too white. Let me tell you something. Take care of your bodies. Get out there, walk on a track, walk on a treadmill, and drop that weight. I'm on a mission now to lose 20 pounds myself. Let's not make it a political issue. Let's not make it a culture issue. Let's maintain our healthy bodies. Part of this coronavirus is going around because people aren't taking care of their bodies as well. So let's really focus on taking care of ourselves. I mean, it's not cute. I'm going to be honest. If you're heavy, that's one thing. If you can't do nothing about it or health condition, that's one thing. But if you're deliberately being heavy and thinking it's cute, it's not. And I really mean it. If anyone is out there, I'm not offending anyone, but I'm just saying it is not cute to be not in shape, because that causes major health issues. And at the end of the day, your loved ones will be the one paying the price. It's commercialized, she claimed. Now you look at the hashtag body positive and you see smaller frame, curvier girls. She said a lot of white girls. And I feel no ways about that, because inclusivity is what my message is always about. Despite preaching inclusivity, Lizzo went on to whine about body positivity and being inclusive. So she's kind of like a hypocrite there. She says girls with back fat, girls with bellies that hang, girls with thighs that aren't separated, that overlap, girls with stretch marks, girls in the 18 plus club, I guess that's the size, they need to be benefiting from the mainstream effect of body positivity now. But with everything that goes mainstream, it gets changed. It gets made acceptable. Of course, in reality, the body positivity movement is nothing more than a refuse for lazy fat people who eat too much. But by forcing society to accept that bad lifestyle in churches, it's kind of a civil rights issue, and they get out of having to take any responsibility for their actions whatsoever. So make sure you're healthy, folks. We don't want to see no one leave this earth before their time. And, Lizzo, I want to put a challenge out to you, Lizzo. I'm trying to lose 20. You set your challenge out, whatever you want to lose, and let's try to work this thing together. Because I really want to see you around much longer than you are, Lizzo. And this fat, loving thing, it's not healthy for our bodies. Straight up, folks. Last story tonight, it says Mrs. Sarah Evans on how God gave her purpose, faith through a near-fatal accident. He saved me for a reason. And I want to let you know God always saves us for a reason. And it says the summer of 1979, a then 8-year-old decided to cross a busy street and she got hit by a car. And it took a 6-week hospital stint of traumatic medical procedures and lengthy physical therapy. She said that God saved me for a reason then, and he saved me time and time again. I just always felt a special connection with God, not just my true father. He's always my best friend, my protector, and my comfort. A lot of that came through trauma in my life, she was stating. So Mrs. Sarah Evans, I want to just most definitely give her a shout out for that, because, God saves us all for a reason. He came down here through 42 generations to give us hope and to give us life. So with that being said, continue to live the life. This is the Honorable WMII signing out.
Thank you for listening to the worldwide transmission of the GBC with the Honorable WMII.